I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know.
Where is he? It's complex. It's not just him. The guests, the tournament participants, everyone's gone. He went dark and now you have to get them back. The Splash Cave, that's where he is. So, what are we going to do?
Bring the car around. We're going for a drive.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise. Run in the shadows, down your love, down your life.
Jesse, it's time to get the band back together.
And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I was born ready, motherfucker. Yeah! What's up?
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that have been away. Haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
I said, the boys are back in town.
She is.
Oh, we're doing
Du-
a double
double cheers?
double cheers.
Coffee and water. Might as well be oxygen. Water chaser.
And Thin Lizzy.
Fuck yeah, guy.
Dude, we're back.
Fuck yeah, guy.
All right.
So, hi everybody, and welcome to Fansplash episode reboot. I don't
even know what episode it is anymore.
I don't know.
49, 40,
Well,
48,
after you go X period of time and it gets old and people aren't watching anymore, then you just reboot the franchise, right?
Okay, so this is Fansplash episode 1.
This is the Colin Farrell version. Hey everyone, so we've been getting asked quite a bit about, hey, is Fansplash done? Is it dead? Where did you guys go? And quite sincerely and honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Honestly, no clue.
I'm pretty sure we did something last week, right?
Yeah, there was something last week and all the weeks before that.
Right,
It hasn't been 2 months at all.
Up to date on all the Flash episodes. I think the finale's coming up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It didn't already happen.
Yep, got that done and watched. Mm-hmm. And been covering that on a regular basis.
Yeah, we've all the Luke Cage episodes to go back a little further.
We did go and we
episodically.
revisited it. So just go to the channel and check it out. And
there was a Defenders trailer reaction, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review.
Yeah, that we had a few good guests on that one.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
But you guys all know that, of course, because you've been keeping up with us. Right. So I am very excited to just carry on with another week's of Fansplash. NBD, no big deal. If you didn't already know that. So, Tyler, we have a plethora of topics to go over today. Leviothon. Oh, wrong.
Stop it, Ron.
All right. Well, I think the Paramount thing, and I'm going to say it's still relevant because as far as I know, it's still #1 in the box office. The only thing that was supposed to challenge him. Cars 3 comes out this week, right?
I don't care.
I don't care. I think it comes out this week, and that might be what finally dethrones Wonder Woman. But
just because a lot of kids want to see it?
Yeah.
All the kids that saw the first one have a job.
I forgot what it was. Something came out. Oh, the Mummy in its opening release or opening weekend did less than Wonder Woman on its third.
But it didn't bomb, right?
It's bombing here. It's doing well internationally.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it.
I did want to see it, but now I'm probably gonna hold off a little bit.
Let's not do that. Let's go see it next weekend.
No, let's go see it next weekend. Guys, expect a review. Never. So I really want to talk about Wonder Woman. Guys, we had a DC movie that was not only good, it was really good.
I mean, it was pretty good.
I liked it more than, I will say. Let me list, because everything's a Marvel DC competition, right?
I guess so.
Everyone's like, oh, what is it compared to Marvel? Well, it's better than at least 2 Iron Man movies.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yep.
Batman vs Superman was better than 2 Iron Man movies.
I liked it better than every DC movie so far.
Batman vs Superman was better than 2 Thor movies.
Yeah. I'd rather watch BVS than I would either of the Thor movies.
I would too, but I didn't hate Thor 2.
All right, well, so we're putting Wonder Woman. We like better than both Thors. We liked it more than. I liked it more than Ant-Man. I know you got a hard on for Paul Rudd, but I love Ant-Man in Civil War. Okay, anyways, I'm not gonna go through all this, but Wonder Woman was a very entertaining movie. I saw it those times in theaters. One of those times was with you, sir. We saw a movie together.
We didn't review it. We're doing it now.
All right, so let's hop to the point without getting too far into spoilers. Not that there's a whole lot to spoil about the movie that wasn't in the trailer, but there's some big things. There's a couple big things towards the third act. What did we love thematically about this movie, or what it means for movies or comic book movies? What's your thoughts on it? Because I'm pretty excited to talk about it.
Oh, good. What I loved most was the fight. Okay, everybody says that there was an excess of slow motion in it, but I think it fit well with the fight choreography. A lot of slow motion shots in superhero movies especially are just some lame spin, and then Captain America would hit someone behind his back with a shield while running through an explosion or something.
Yeah.
And that would be the extent of the slow. It'd be why did you put that slow mo shot in there? This was Amazonian women doing fucking spinning kick flips, and you got to see all this shit that they were doing.
Bending over backwards on a horse and shooting a bow and arrow.
Right. That was cool. I loved that they slowed that down for me. Honestly, this is probably the best use of slow motion that I've seen in any movie so far.
My only counter argument would be the opening credits for Watchmen, where the whole opening credits was the montage.
Watchmen is an element all of its own.
Okay, that's
but
excellent use of slow motion.
Yeah, but see, that's slow motion done right,
beautiful.
not a lot of the times when you see slow motion, it seems YouTube-y. You know, like when a YouTube
Yeah.
user slows down a fail, and it's like...
Yeah.
We've done it a couple of times on our show.
That we have. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the shot, you see the scene a million times in the trailers, the Amazonian fights with the Germans, that's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler. That was very well handled. There's some great moments in that. And you know that we have Chris Pine playing Steve Trevor, which initially I was mad at, not because I don't like Chris Pine. I love Chris Pine. I even thought he's good for Steve Trevor initially, but Chris Pine, I was like, would be such a good Hal Jordan.
Right, he would be he ideally, when you think Green Lantern, you're gonna, in current actors, you're thinking Chris Pine.
Right.
Just like what you would think Benedict Cumberbatch with Doctor Strange, or Hugh Jackman with Wolverine, or Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
He was just a great fit because his Kirk is Hal Jordan, basically. He wouldn't even have to change it much.
He's a phenomenal Kirk, though, and I would never take that away from him.
No, well, who knows when Star Trek... Oh, yeah, I don't know when Star Trek 4 is or will be happening. Anyway, but Chris Pine did such a great job. He really brought it more than just like, he's not just the male love interest.
He's not, and I mean...
He's not the male damsel in distress.
No,
At all.
And they don't really shoehorn it because the chemistry seems... It's so much more natural, and this is what I hated. This is what I absolutely hated about Jessica Jones. My only complaint about the Jessica Jones show was that Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' chemistry was not right. It's supposed to be, in the comics it's supposed to be there, but it just didn't seem natural. It seemed like they were trying to make something that wasn't there. You see it a lot in comic book movies where there's some unnatural chemistry.
And I would argue that I can't think, and if you think of something, let me know, of a comic book movie chemistry that was done really any better than this.
Better than... No.
I would argue that Pepper and Tony are pretty good. And they also had the course of like 4 movies or 3 movies or whatever, but definitely better than Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth. I think even better than Agent Carter and Steve Rogers. It was amazing. It was really, really good, and you feel for them. And you...
What about going back to like older films?
Throwing at me. I mean, I know there's older movies back there, but I was trying to think of them.
I'm not gonna like say for a fact that was the best chemistry because,
but definitely in recent years.
My argument for to play devil's advocate or whatever, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That doesn't mean that I won't remember something or that it won't be there. That's fair. But off the top of my head, yeah, it was really good, and I don't know what compares to it. So it was very natural.
I had concerns as we were both excited for this movie, but of course, from experience, also worried and concerned. I
was mildly excited. I wanted to be excited.
I was a little hair over mild. That sounds like a bad Tabasco sauce. You put hair in my mild.
All right, so after the sriracha on Hot Ones, we're gonna have the hair after mild.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. Okay, so it's hard to wrap all my thoughts or get all my thoughts out of how I felt about this movie and what my concerns going into it were. Not just that it was a DC movie. This was going to be the first really big budget female-led superhero movie. Like, we're not counting Elektra or Catwoman. Those tanked and made Hollywood afraid to make these movies for a very long time. And they were just bad movies. Like, it had nothing to do with the fact they were female leads.
And let's pause right there and go back to the talk of female leads, because a lot of people are getting pissed off because some people are saying, I've never seen a woman a female lead this badass before, or something like that, which there have been many lead female badasses. Not enough, but many lead. Sarah Connor.
Ellen Ripley.
Ripley was going to be my second example,
Sorry.
of course. Wow. And
if you can...
Yeah.
Those two.
Great place to start.
If you could... she hasn't gotten her own movie yet, but if you can count Scarlett Johansson.
They said she was going to get a movie right after the
Arguably,
Avengers.
Mad Max Fury Road, who was more of a main character than Mad Max?
That movie wasn't about Mad Max.
It was about Furiosa.
Right.
It was totally about Furiosa,
Yeah.
and Charlize Theron is definitely a badass. So, they exist. There needs to be a lot more of them. But this movie, I think, just opened up the floodgate for the possibility. And we know Marvel's going to be doing a Captain Marvel. I'm just so proud of how they handled it, because it could have very easily been not just about empowering women, but I think there's a positive and negative side to feminism. I think most would argue that. And it's about female pride and equality, not about like...
I think a lot of people are put off by the whole girl power thing, you know, but if... Not that it's wrong, it's a step in the right direction for sure. But... we've had examples even on our page saying Wonder Woman is lame. Wonder Woman is lame because classically, what is she? She's in an invisible ship with a truth-telling lasso, and
that lasso was badass.
This movie is not the Wonder Woman that I saw on the old Justice League cartoons growing up, or the old television series. This is not that Wonder Woman. This Wonder Woman.
This is
kicked ass.
This is the Wonder Woman that I had in the cartoons growing up, and in the comics that I've read, not recently, but some of the comics that exist in like the last 10 years, where when I thought of Wonder Woman, to me, she was somebody that would have fit in that 300 world. She is two things, or well, she's more than two things, but she's one of the greatest, most fiercest warriors in all of like comic book existence, but on the same side, one of the biggest fighters for peace and love, and it's like almost two opposite sides of the same coin.
But that's always been sort of in the background, you know? We never really got that story with Wonder Woman. You just got like, I'm Wonder Woman and I'm here for justice.
My freaking red, white, and blue underoos.
But it's hilarious because they put that really well in the movie. Like, you can't just, you can't wear it, you know?
Seeing her contrast in, is it the 20s or is it the teens? 19s, 100s? World War
It's
I.
World War One. It's like it's the teens. I guess I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
They never say an exact date on it, but you just have this woman in like bright, colorful armor and a sword and shield trying to walk through while all other women don't have hardly any rights. They're all covered up, and the fish out of water story has been done a million times. You know, we've had it with Captain America coming into modern times. And it's been in several superhero movies. Anybody that's far removed coming into a different situation. But it was so well handled here.
Encino Man.
Yeah, I'll be back. I love that they handled it really well. And just seeing how she reacts with all these things that she didn't have on Themyscira, the island of the Amazons, was great. And these aren't really spoilers, but when she first comes in there... all these Amazonians are like thousands of years old and stuff. So she freaks out when she sees a baby. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's something that we take for granted. But she's like, baby! And can we talk about how charming Gal Gadot is in this movie? She's so damn likable.
I know it's not the intention of sort of the female empowerment thing, but I love her. I'm in love with her now. I didn't see anything in her in Batman versus Superman. I'm like, no. I love that.
She's like media. I think part of it's how she was written and forced into the movie. Some of it might have been that she wasn't properly prepared for it.
100% of it was charm and how she portrayed her role and what she did. It had nothing to do with the way she dressed or, you know, how good she looked. It was...
Smile that could kill.
Yeah.
She played the role like she believed everything that she was saying so much. And someone...
Jenner, so...
Yeah.
There's another one. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Ray,
there you go. We're getting there.
We're getting there. Somebody brought up a really great point.
Harley Quinn,
about
arguably the lead character, not a hero.
No,
but
a really great point about what's so great about Wonder Woman, and it is that like a lot of these things are very mild. So if you really want to know nothing about the movie, I just tune out for like 10 minutes. But there is a scene where Chris Pine wants to go. He has to go into a room to his superiors because he's trying to get the book to him. I won't say what the book is, but he's got something he has to deliver to his superiors. And he says, you know, stay out here. And it's all guys, and these guys with their Monopoly mustaches and stuff like that.
More money.
And
how can I make another $1 billion?
He walks in there, and you know she's not one to sit out. She walks right in behind him, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's a woman in here." And he's like, "What are you doing?"
Can you not die?
I'm choking. I can't drink water properly. It's a defect that I have. But
The defect in this one is bleach.
she walks in there, and they're saying about how they won't send any troops out to try to stop what could be a terrible addition to the war, and they're working on an amnesty and stuff like that. And she just starts screaming at the general, like, who are you? What kind of coward are you to be staying in here in your office while your men are out there fighting and dying for their country? Like, where I come from, generals fight and die along their soldiers, not cooped up in an office. And there was audible cheers the first time I saw the movie in the theaters. There was people cheering in the back and middle. Everyone's like, yeah, because it's still relevant. That hasn't changed. That's still an issue. And having that come from not only a superhero but a woman is so impactful and powerful. I didn't mean to go on a freaking rant, but they do so many great things with their character in this movie.
It is great, and feminism aside, it's a good movie. You know, it's well done. We get our first fantastic origin story in a long time. I would argue it's more well paced than Doctor Strange, even.
Yeah,
you know, we get more than we wanted out of this movie. And is it perfect? No, not even the slightest. But is it a much better movie than I thought it was going to be? Sure. Now, previous movies aside, sort of tampering with my expectations of it, that wouldn't necessarily, just because it was way better than what I thought it was going to be, doesn't mean it was still a good movie. What would you, if you were to give it a rating, what would you give it?
8.5.
8.5? And what movie would you compare it to, like, if you were going to compare it to, like, a good movie to try to get people to go see it?
This is hard because the first thing I want to compare it to is debatable because I like it more than a lot of people do. And no, it's not Man of Steel, but I would compare it to Captain America: The First Avenger for several reasons. But I like it more than that. But there's some thematic similarities, some pacing similarities.
For sure, a lot of people have made that comparison.
And I that's what I would say. If you like First Avenger, which I hope you do, the first Captain America, add a point value to like probably whatever you feel about Captain America: The First Avenger. That's how I saw Wonder Woman.
A lot of people don't like. A lot of people, rightfully so, think the first Captain America movie is the worst one in the Captain America series. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's still a really good movie.
I think it's one of the best trilogies ever. So that something somewhere has to be the weakest. Like people say Dark Knight Rises is the weakest of the three.
Right. I still like all those movies. They're not as good as everybody says they are, but I still like them all.
Preach.
I feel like we say that a lot. We apologize for a lot of movies, but this one, no, that's a very good comparison. I would say exactly that. It's Captain America: The First Avenger, but better. I even like how they started and ended the movie. The transitioning
the bookend
was fantastic. It was much better done subtly than in Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah, Captain America's First Avenger is like, and here's the Avengers. Like, they're coming.
That's exactly how it is.
This movie did a really great job of being
seamless.
removed with Easter eggs in it. You know, like you saw Wayne Tech and Wayne Enterprises at the beginning and end. But other than that, there was nothing that like had to concretely.
But you got more.
Connect.
You got more. You got more of Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince's growing relationship.
Sure. But in a very subtle, yeah, like you said, subtle manner. So just trying to say more of the things that they did great, because there's a lot more good than bad. The chemistry was great. The action's phenomenal. Gal puts in not just a good performance for Gal, because she's a relatively new actress, but just a great performance. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have told me she'd been acting for 10 years or whatever, and I'd be like, okay, she did great. I believed her 100%. Like I said, her smile, the way she talked to other people, the compassion she showed, her strength whenever she had to be a powerful character in the action scenes. People clapped and cheered a lot for her throughout this movie, and that's something I haven't seen in a long time. And I love that, you know, we have our Supermans, we have our Captain Americas that are just good for the sake of being good, truth, justice, and the American way. Little girls need that too. I mean, she's still my Wonder Woman too. Like, she's still my hero.
Especially with all the Harley Quinn buzz, we need a hero to counteract that with the children.
No, you can't run around skimpy with a baseball bat hitting people in the head.
Ooh, I'm hoping to see a lot more Wonder Womans at Comic-Con this year than
There's a lot of Harley Quinns at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could really go on for about 30 minutes about everything I liked about the movie, but let's quickly, shouldn't take too long. The other way, there are some cons.
There are a lot of cons. I'm gonna let you go first.
Proficiently in the third act.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about it because my main con is
Con.
it is con. No, it's actually a spoiler. So
I think I can dance around that without getting into it too much, but
you know what my con is, right?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
Just the reveal,
Okay.
right, or along those lines.
Yeah, it was kind of lackluster.
Sure.
I
So
love that word, Dane. I've been using it a lot.
we get this a lot in comic book movies, and they usually kind of they either make the end too long or too short, like lackluster. The end of Captain America: The First Avenger, that little punch off with Red Skull and Captain America. Eh.
At first, that's what I admired about it. Is that it wasn't dramatic.
That's true. It was smaller, so there's some good things to that.
It was more realistic.
This movie ends a little bit on a Zack Snyder note. Think Doomsday fight in BVS. Difference being it is earned, and you care more about this fight and this conflict and what's been building up towards it. And so I think it's a little more exciting, and they blended better real with CGI, like going back and forth, than just looking like one giant green screen like BVS did. Sorry, it's hard when you get this many comic book movies not to compare them to other comic book movies. It's not like
you kind of have to when they're in the same universe, though. So Batman versus Superman comparative to Wonder Woman.
Right.
I will say, though, I saw Batman versus Superman for probably the sixth or seventh time the other day. And while I still hate the pacing, I hate how it jumps from one character to the next.
Any of those 6 times the Ultimate Edition?
Back and forth, yeah.
Oh,
I saw the Ultimate Edition twice now.
Good.
But I will say that the story progression itself, like the actual like overarching story, makes a little more sense the more you see it.
And they do something with a certain character at the end of the movie. I shedded a tear, and it was just really well handled. I think you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but in Wonder Woman, they did it so much better than Batman vs Superman. They yeah, because I only had to see that once to totally get the movie, right? It wasn't some shit I had to get a decoder ring for. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Fuck! Christmas Story reference.
So our issues mostly are... actually, throughout the movie...
It's really well put together. It's such a well put together movie. Except for the end.
Throughout the movie, not just the third act.
It doesn't have a bad end.
There's spotty or dodgy... I like the word dodgy. CGI throughout the movie. Even in the beginning Amazonian scene, I was like, that looked like a cartoon. And it's weird. Like, I wish that if they got like ILM or somebody, like Industrial Light and Magic, to do the CGI, it'd look a little better. But when you look back at the movie, it's not that distracting. It's just something that kind of pops up when you watch it. Like Tarkin and Rogue One. Spoilers. Sorry. If you haven't seen Rogue One by now, you probably weren't going to see it.
Yeah.
It's, 7 months, 8 months, whatever.
But because at first you're like, oh shit, oh my god, and then you're like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
The reveal of the villain, they've kept the villain out of the trailers for good reason, because if they put him or her in any of the trailers, then I think it would kind of really spoil the movie, and you wouldn't have much to look forward to at the end. There's aspects I like about that reveal, and then there's aspects that I didn't, and it could have been handled better. I
think like full picture, it could have... I don't want to say it should have dragged out more, but I think they could have done... It's hard because throughout the movie, they set the whole thing up, and they're doing a really good job of like making this a serious thing, and like it's all that she cares about, but... I just still feel like there should have been more of like an impact, more of like a footprint.
I agree with that. You saying about what she cares about the whole movie. She pulled off naive without stupidity really, really well. Like, she was naive to like how the world actually was and stuff, but at no point in the movie did we think she was stupid or dumb.
Right.
She was just, and not in a negative or hurtful sense.
Like
she
when
was
you're
ignorant.
when you're watching a movie, and you're watching like maybe like a scary movie, and somebody goes upstairs, and you're like, "No, dumb bitch!" No, there was none of that.
Yeah, she's just, there's things she didn't know because of the world that she grew up with and lived in. And it was handled really well, and this makes me want to go see it again. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, we should probably leave Wonder Woman for now.
That's what I was getting to. What did you say? What would you rate it? And of course, we both recommend the movie.
I would say, God, I would say it's a good strong 8.
8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and it's. I question the people that are actually hating on it. Like, I really just give them the squinty eyes. I'm like, what do you really hate about it? Because we.
I don't know what the. I mean, there. It had its problems for sure. It had its problems, but there are people that have come on our page and straight up said that they hated the movie.
Those people also like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not to call anybody out.
A lot of people like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Those people actually also like Transformers.
Yeah.
But
and Fast and Furious. Not saying names.
We're not gonna name anybody, but which is fine. Like what you like and don't like what you don't like. But when we say to these people that we don't like something that they like, they're like, really? Wow. Oh wow, really? Wow. And then they'll be like, I hated this movie. There was nothing that I liked about it at all, really. And it'll be like, it wasn't that bad. And then they'll be like, oh wow. I'm just messing around. But wow. Oh wow.
Wow.
No, it was a good movie. I'm glad that we finally got to talk about it on the podcast.
All right, switching from DC to Marvel, running through it really quick. We also saw Guardians of the Galaxy in our time lapse. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Quick thoughts, couple minutes. Did you like it more than the first one, Tyler?
No.
Neither did I.
Nobody did. But okay, so that's a pretty loaded question. Because when you say question. Did you like it more than the first one, was no. But that's because I have to give a hard answer. I like them both almost equally, but if it was a scale, I would have to say that the first one was better, just because of the sheer, it was a lot like Wonder Woman. The sheer impact of what I expected from it versus what I got was just so much better. I did not expect what I got out of
the first one.
Mm-hmm. I did not expect what I got out of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's easily, probably for the longest time, it was my favorite comic book movie. Which, not saying a lot because it's only 3 years old, but it is, and it's still up there. I loved the second one a lot. We are not being left alone on our phones. I loved the second one a lot. There were a lot of parts about it that I liked. There are some elements that they introduced into the Marvel universe that were holy shit, yes, and then kind of
Celestials,
kind of wish
Thanos.
Well, yeah, and then some. It was just like I know that they had to do this because it's part of, Peter Quill's story, but could they have done it better? Yeah. And then everyone's gonna hate me, but I don't think the soundtrack fit as well.
No,
in this one,
no. I don't think anyone's gonna hate you because I think it's complete agreement. I have since listened. There's about 5 songs on Volume 2 that I've listened to over and over and over again.
They played The Chain by Fleetwood Mac 3 times in the film.
Yes,
twice it didn't fit at all. Like when Rocket is repairing the ship, there's no reason for it to be playing.
Never break.
And they only play that one little bit for the first 2 times until they break into the part that's in the trailer. The chain keep us together. But they only play and if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying, you will never break the chain. And that repeats 6 times in that part of the song. So it's like...
Got our music aficionado here.
It's just... It just took away from the movie a little bit. Now, was the soundtrack fine?
Fine.
Yes.
It was fine. But how was the first volume?
Great. It was fantastic.
Not just fine.
I'm going to tell you right now, because him and I worked retail for years, I hate the first song. The opening song, I hate it.
I can't even remember.
Brandy.
See, I didn't know that they played that at Freddie. I didn't even recognize the song, but now I've listened to it 30 times. Say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife. You
I
would
just
be.
don't like that song at all.
I love it.
Even a little bit. Not even
Love
a
it.
little bit.
But there's thematically a lot going on with that song with the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it ties into the movie a lot.
Okay. Highlights. Putting music aside, Rocket had a really badass kind of solo scene towards the middle of the movie. That was fantastic in the woodsy area. Yondu stood out much more in this movie than he did the first movie.
I like how they kind of backtrack a lot of the things that he did in the first movie and make him more of a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, isn't that motherfucker back? And then they do the same. Well, I guess I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah,
into
we're
this.
gonna hold on. We get introduced to Mantis, who's a fun character, and how much she is berated by Drax is kind of hilarious.
She's hilarious. Drax is hilarious, and her and Drax's interactions are fantastic.
No spoilers, but sorry, I just pictured being physically intimate with you. It was great. No, the movie was great. It was great. Go see it if you haven't already.
It was very funny. It was
a little dense, I think, was my problem.
I laughed my ass off during the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the film all the way through. It wasn't the first one. That's like really the biggest thing that I can say about it is that it wasn't the first one. Was it? I mean, like I said when I first started talking about it, if it was on a scale, the first one would just weigh a little more. I almost like them equally, but they're different movies. They are especially with the things that they introduce in this, Celestials and all that. You know, they had Thanos in the first one, but it's just a different tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like Star Trek Beyond versus Star Trek Into Darkness. You know what I mean?
My final point about the movie, and one thing I thought faltered for the second one, is the first one, climax was a dance-off. Second one, the climax is a planet-sized battle. But I think that it was too much. It was too much.
There's a lot going on in it, and it's upsetting when you find out that a hero is more of a superhero, and then
not.
Yeah, I just that. But I feel like I got all my energy out in Wonder Woman, and I'm not giving Guardians of the Galaxy 2 justice. It was a fantastic movie.
It was.
I will watch it again several times.
It's
down the
still
line.
one of the better Marvel movies.
It was really well done. It was such a good movie. Baby Groot was awesome.
Oh god, baby.
Drax was awesome. You know,
all the characters pretty much brought it more in this movie.
you get more of their togetherness too. They're more becoming a family than just some. You know,
James Gunn, the director, put it perfectly. He said the first one's about them coming together. The second one's about them being together. Mm-hmm. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Have you seen it? What did you think? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll talk about it in more detail, in depth.
what do we got next?
Anything
Jesse?
else? All right, Marvel. Step into the spotlight.
Wait. Let's rate
go
them.
ahead.
Let's rate
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay, so I believe I said this on the Fansplash page. I give number 1 8.5. I give number 2 8. So they're
I
half
would
a
give
point
number
different.
1 a 9, just because I love that movie a lot.
Okay.
And then I would give number 2 an 8.
Okay. So pretty close to the same. I almost want to give the first Guardians a 9, but there's some reasons for a different discussion that will take a couple half points off. I guess it'll be a full point. Anyways. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to step into the spotlight with the Black Panther teaser trailer from Marvel. That's pretty cool. Is that your Black Panther mask?
No, this is me hiding my face.
That's not very convincing. Why? Because you haven't watched it?
No, I watched it.
Oh. He's...
I just wasn't very excited about it. So initially I had all these problems because they're talking about like how the Wakanda that everybody knows is just a front. Mm-hmm. And initially I'm thinking, what do they show then? How can the country, but think of like the country on a map, and then think of like where the location of actual Wakanda is. It could be in like the heart of it, but essentially they're talking about El Dorado.
Right.
Is the true Wakanda. There could be a country completely surrounding it, but there would have to be like actual poverty and actual like, I don't know, like maybe they rotate. How do they do that? There's a city, or there's a country with ambassadors that is known to the world, that has a location on the world map, but it's a front. What do they have blocking, like, I don't know, like,
Well, it's kind
drones?
It's always like Themyscira in the comics. It was always like magically or force field, like hidden, like away from.
I understand the concept of El Dorado. Like, I just,
Or Atlantis.
or Atlantis, sure, yeah.
It's a mythical city, basically, that is full of fantasy and science and.
But how do you weigh, like, your time in El Dorado versus your time in Wakanda? You know, how does he... So all his people are in El Dorado, but there has to be an actual Wakanda. You see what I'm saying?
Well, no, they're saying El Dorado was a fictional, or not a fictional, but a myth, and that's what they called Wakanda.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Continue then. I was confused.
No. Now I'm confused because what he's saying
Is
in the trailer
they
is
called
that
it Wakanda, or they called it El Dorado, and
he's
they thought it
saying
was
everything we know about Wakanda is a front, that it's bullshit, that it's actually what we know as El Dorado, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
El Dorado would have to be hidden.
Yes.
How?
Well, there's a force field in the comics. You're overthinking it. This is not what we're supposed to talk about in the trailer.
But the how isn't actually like my biggest question. It's I'm failing to say it like really bad right now. There's a country surrounding what El Dorado is hidden in.
Sure.
There are real people, real Sarah McLachlan documentaries.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're
Do
saying.
you see what I'm saying? He's an ambassador. He leaves El Dorado. He goes and bees Black Panther to, you know, like, what's the extent of what is what? Why? There's a real country with real people in it that's a front. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think that nobody goes to Wakanda. Like what Claw said is he's like, I'm the only person that's been into Wakanda and out alive to talk about it. Nobody knows what Wakanda looks like. It's a very small country. They don't know what it looks like.
What about Google Earth? Why wouldn't that know what it looks like?
Force field.
Okay.
They'll talk about it in the movie, but like you see when you go over that it's all technology, like skyscrapers, and looks like something from the Jetsons or something, because that's always what Wakanda has been. They conceal it somehow with their technology, vibranium,
Okay.
whatever.
That's fine.
And so I don't think that what you're saying with the poverty and stuff like that, that is what they tell everybody, or that is the persona that they put on, but nobody's seen any of that. I don't think there's actual real people, real poverty in Wakanda, or what people know as Wakanda.
Okay, so yeah, so the whole thing that I just spent like 10 minutes trying to say is that if El Dorado, Wakanda, was in the middle of Wakanda, there would have to be, you know, like bordering like a lot of villages that people visiting from other countries would see, which I guess they'd all be actors, so maybe they'd have something. But like, what if like, I guess they don't allow Peace Corps or any of that shit in there, which is fine by me. And initially, I thought El Dorado is the entrance to like some different dimensional thing, or like other worldly place that's not actually our earthly atmosphere or whatever. It's kind of the idea I was getting.
Wakanda's just like, it's always been depicted as like the center of a forest, pretty much.
Okay.
And it doesn't have surroundings, and you have to know
So it's
how to get
well
there.
protected from the modern world.
Very much so. And you saw that the little glimpse in the trailer of Black Panther kicking some asses in the middle of the forest, and he's up in the tree and stuff. Like, he's guarding his city.
Okay, take all my stupid questions aside. Did the movie look badass? Yeah.
Bro, I think we remember when we were talking about Civil War. Was I more excited to see motherfucking Black Panther or Spider-Man when Civil War came out?
You were more excited about Black Panther.
More excited for Black Panther, that's right. Because if you took Batman and made him the regal, elegant king of a hidden, scientifically advanced city, and all of his weapons were made out of the same material as Captain America's shield, because that metal can only be found in his country, because a meteor hit there. That's where all the vibranium is. That's where everything they build is made out of. You would have Black Panther. and he is a awesome character. And what I made this big long post. I don't know if you had the chance to read it about Wonder Woman, Black Panther, and whatever else. It's so exciting to just like culturally have a character that he's not Blade. He's not African American or somebody that just has some African descendants or something. Wakanda's in Africa. He is an African king, and so all that like African culture is threaded into his livelihood, his country, his upbringing, and stuff like that. And we see that in the trailer represented, which is super cool.
Whether it's a fictional country or not, there's still culture in there.
Exactly. I mean, they're still trying to have a representation of African culture, which I think is really exciting. You see one gentleman, and I guess rumor is that he's a villain. He has the disc in his lip. Did you catch that in the trailer? And just they're very bright, vibrant colors. The spears and the tribal wear. And he's so different from every character. Like, much more than a Superman or a Wonder Woman or something like that. He really sticks out. And I'm super excited to see that. I don't know about you. I loved him in Civil War.
Oh, he did. He did a fantastic job in Civil War. He was one of the biggest highlights, and I loved. Civil War's a year old. I'm going to talk about it. I loved when he's talking to Zemo, and he's like, "The living are not yet done with you." Or,
Yeah.
He had something along those lines. Yeah.
I don't think we've met. My name's Clint. I don't care.
Yeah. He just did a great job.
Captain. I am the captain now. He was saying, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, he's in that movie.
What? No, it's a
Captain Phillips.
Whenever Captain America showed up, he's like, Captain, and then that made me think, I am the captain now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Bring it back.
No, it's cool. It is just like what you say, because like Miles Morales just happens to be a black guy that's Spider-Man.
Sure.
You know, Blade just
that's
happens
exactly
to be a
the
black
point
guy,
that I was getting.
you know?
It's not just happens to be. It is everything about the character. You can't
make this. It's like they made
Human Torch. Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
Who was the villain of the movie?
They made the Human Torch black in the last Fantastic Four movie. You can do that. You could just
Perry White in Man of Steel.
Perry White and Nick Fury black.
Yeah. You can change the race and it doesn't matter. You
Killer
cannot...
Croc. You could change the Deadshot. You could change the race of a lot of characters and villains. This one cannot be touched.
You can't have Hispanic Black Panther. You can't have Asian Black Panther. It's.
I mean, I'm sure there could actually be like a lot of Aztec culture for like a Black Panther, but it fits so well in what it already is.
The music choice was great. I'm super excited to see Michael B. Jordan, Forrest Whitaker's in it, Lupita Nyong'o's in it. Every like amazing black actor, especially some of the up and comers, are in this film, and it's super exciting.
I really hope that we get a lot out of Michael B. Jordan. Who is he supposed to be?
Eric Killmonger.
And that's a big villain, right?
Yes. And then Manape is also in there, which is another big Black Panther villain. And Claw is his like main villain. So you have like 3 big Black Panther villains in this movie. Probably varying degrees of how much they're used. I think Killmonger's Michael B. Jordan's supposed to be the main antagonist.
I hope we get a lot out of him, especially with what we've seen in Marvel villains.
Yeah. I think Hela might be an exception to that. I think she's going to be awesome. That's aside.
Yeah, dude. And it looks like Shocker's going to be not a big part of Spider-Man either. So.
Oh, no. Shocker and Tinker are going to be very minor, and then Vulture's going to be huge. Yeah, very excited for Black Panther. It looks super great. I can't wait for a full trailer. All right.
And when is that supposed to come out?
February.
Okay.
Breakdown, guys. July, Spider-Man. November, Justice League and Thor. And February, Black Panther.
And December, Star Wars.
Star Wars, nothing but next topic. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Just so you guys know, we're not going to bother talking about it, but Addams Family Netflix show coming out. Probably going to watch it because I like Series of Unfortunate Events and I like that dark, morbid humor. You going to watch it?
There's an Addams Family Netflix series coming
Trailer
out?
just came out today.
Ooh, no, I haven't seen it.
I couldn't get the sound to work, though, so it wasn't working for me. But looking forward to that. All right. If you didn't already know, now you do know. Joss Whedon will be taking over the Justice League project for Zack Snyder. If you hadn't heard, tragically, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide, and he has since removed himself from the project. Brought in Joss Whedon, who's going to be working on the Batgirl movie. He's going to wrap up Justice League for him, and we were all wondering how much creative control is he going to have. Apparently, as much as he wants, because he took Junkie XL off the project. Who did Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer are responsible for that awesome Wonder Woman score that we have. Also, like the Man of Steel score. He does epic music. And I was like, no, you can't replace... He's awesome. Music's one of the only things that really works for DC. But who'd they have replace him? Danny Elfman. Do you know who Danny Elfman is? Danny Elfman did Batman 89. And he's done... I had a list at one point.
So are they trashing any score that they already had, or do they
They'll
have
probably-
anything yet because they're not in editing?
They'll probably reuse some of the themes. Because like Batman has a theme in BVS, Superman has a theme, and Wonder Woman's got a theme. So they'll reuse themes, but Danny Elfman is going to finish scoring the film.
How does that work for something that the movie's already almost done? It's about to go into editing, and then the director leaves. This guy, does he get paid for being slated on the project initially, or is he just out? Like Joss Whedon comes in and he's...
As far as he's paid for his work.
Okay.
I don't know if he will be paid anytime they use his music. Is usually contractually how that works. But Danny Elfman's not a bad choice. Like when we're done with this, I should have you or send you a link to the Batman 89 score. Da-da-da-da. Nope, that's different. Yeah, Jones is stuck in my head. But
I thought you were going for like X-Men, 90s X-Men.
no, maybe that's what I was doing. It was X-Men, but I can't think of it right now. But if it started playing, I'd be able to hum along with it. It's a really, really great theme. Danny Elfman also does epic, but he does almost... His music sounds like a comic book movie. Does that make sense? Kind of like the original Spider-Mans and stuff like that. Like they had really great scores. And it's just different. So are you maybe excited for that? Excited for Joss Whedon to be doing...
I'm excited
Justice
for
League?
Joss Whedon to kind of take the reins and finish Zack Snyder's work, but I like Zack Snyder. I do...
As like a cinematographer, as a visual director.
As a visual director, but also I like his story input. I like what he wants to do with the whole DC universe, and I think that he should be
Involved?
I think that he should be heavily involved and have like a lot of creative say in this universe that he started. And do I think that Joss Whedon... I'm glad that if anybody's gonna take Justice League into reshoots, that it is Joss Whedon. I am happy with him being picked as the director to finish it up. I'm upset that we're running into another hiccup with the Justice League.
Well, this wasn't as much of a hiccup as it is finishing. Well, I mean, I guess
sure,
and anybody leaving the project's a hiccup. Never mind.
And the reason behind it is obviously he had to do what he had to do. But I just don't want a new set of eyes pulling apart all the threads of what made this, what we were anticipating for this movie. Because a new set of eyes can be like, this is fucked up, and then just try to fix everything from there. I think that there should, luckily there are probably a lot of other people attached to the project that will probably stop a lot of that from happening. But Ben Affleck being one, Jeff Johns being another.
I was going to say, I can alleviate your fears a little bit because Jeff Johns, Joss Whedon, and Zack Snyder. I guess Joss was helping with Justice League before Zack Snyder left. So they all have an idea of where they want this project to go.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. So that takes away a lot of my fears. It's very unfortunate what happened to Zack Snyder and his family.
And he'll be back.
Hopefully. It's bothersome that this is finally getting good. Warner Brothers finally backed off, and we finally got Jeff Johns. And then this is what we're going to see out of it. And especially after Wonder Woman, and now we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. I'm very excited for
I don't think it's bad news.
No, I mean there's
I
some
think
tragic news in there.
I think it's the best fit possible. But of course, I have my.
And Joss Whedon has written DC Comics before, and Joss Whedon also had a script for a Wonder Woman movie that just never got made.
Hey, Joss Whedon made the Avengers and fucking Firefly, so.
I mean, I was in his show, so I obviously have an affinity for him as a director and an appreciation.
For those who don't know, he played Jane Cobb in Firefly.
Yes,
in
I did.
Serenity.
Yes, I did. That was me. All right, guys. Well, there was a couple other topics. Running out of time, and that's okay. We will have plenty more next time. Thank you for joining us so much.
Oh my God, we missed you. Did you miss us?
Yeah.
Even though we haven't been gone.
If it wasn't for freaking pulling your head out of your ass and coming and seeing a movie with me, it would have been like 3 months not seeing each other. But if you didn't know, if you're new to the channel or you're just coming back, a reminder of all the different places you can find us. Here on YouTube at Fansplash. You can find us, should be the first channel that pops up, pretty sure. Facebook, Fansplash Network. Look that up on, and then our email if you want to send us some questions, things for us to answer on the show.
Fan art.
Fan art. Oh, fan art would be fantastic. Crop me into a Serenity poster. I wouldn't even be able to tell if you did. Our email is
TheFansplash@gmail.com. Guess what, guys? I actually have good news, and then he doesn't know this yet. I set up an RSS feed, so not only will we be on SoundCloud, but I can put us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all sorts of stuff like that. So it'll be a while before I get the time and energy to do that, but it is something that I have taken a big step in going towards. So that's pretty good.
I'm
out of here.
Thanks, guys. It was great having you back. Good to be back. And we'll see you soon. Until next time, may the film be with you.
Peace out. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and keep an eye and an ear out for exciting new content. Be sure to follow us on all the social media sites. Twitter is @TheFansplash. YouTube, just search Fansplash. We've got an open Facebook network, Fansplash Network. Instagram is fan_splash_podcast. SoundCloud.com/fansplash. You can email us, thefansplash@gmail.com, and Reddit @r/fansplash. Title and end credit songs written by Jacob Hall. See you next time.
May the film be with you. Always.